The January 21 developer update from Behavior is out, and it has a ton of really good stuff in it. So the first thing to start off here is the dev tapes. These are a new thing that they are doing for the developer updates that kind of puts the developer update words into video form, and it's pretty cool. Honestly, that's really all I can say about it. Now, the first thing they put is the Clown gameplay update. Kicking things off, the Clown is receiving some changes in the upcoming mid-chapter. Our resident funny man has been cooking something up, introducing the Afterpiece Antidote. This new throwable bottle shatters and releases a delayed yellow gas. Once the gas activates, anyone who steps in the gas receives a 10% movement speed bonus. Like your tonic, this effect lingers for a few seconds after leaving the gas. You can swap between tonics and antidotes by tapping the active ability button at any time. Antidote isn't just a name, they will also cure any negative effects from the Afterpiece tonic, so you'll want to be careful where you throw them. They may make you faster, but a poorly thrown bottle will make the survivor faster as well. Or, you may want to lure a survivor to an area with no pallets remaining with a juicy antidote. But remember, if the two gases collide, they will neutralize each other and disappear. We also recognize that every second counts. That's why we've also reduced the time taken to reload your bottles to 3 seconds, down from 5. Reloading will give you 4 bottles in any combination. You do not need to reload tonics and antidotes separately. Last but not least, we've done a pass on the Clown's add-ons. There's some interesting new combinations in there that we're curious to see what you can do with. So, this is a good change to Clown because it gives him map pressure in some shape or form. It really does do him good. Now, for some details. The Afterpiece Antidote takes a second to activate. It takes I think it's about 2 seconds. 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. It will start off gray, and then it'll puff into yellow. And that yellow cloud is what gives you that haste, and thus cures the Afterpiece tonic effects. And that's a really fucking good change, like, genuinely. They have done something really good with this Clown update. And reducing the reload to 3 seconds is awesome as well. I'm very interested to see the Clown's add-on pass, though, because this could mean a lot of really good things. Is the HUD update. They're updating the HUD, basically. You know, you have the survivor icons up at the top left, your amount of hooks up to 12, your gens remaining, your perks, how to use your power, how many of your power you have left, and then for survivor you have the same thing, you know, the icons, the gens, the perks, then you have your item with add-ons. This is what they say about it. The first thing you'll probably notice is the new layout. We aim to keep things clean and familiar to longtime players while updating the HUD, but that's not all. The new HUD comes with a few tricks up its sleeves. Character portraits. No longer will you stare blankly at the generic figures in the corner trying to figure out which one is Meg and which one is Dwight. You'll now see the face of the survivor next to the name. Hook counter in progress. Next to each survivor's portrait, you'll find a hook counter. This will help you remember who's been hooked, who hasn't, and who can't afford to be hooked again. Killers will also see a meter showing their hook progress to give them an idea of how well they're doing. And finally, UI scale options. Are you squinting at a tiny screen across the room trying to make out what that text says? Or are you a minimalist who wants the HUD to take up as little space as possible? Either way, we have you covered. You'll find new options to increase or decrease the size of the HUD in the options menu. And, to any streamers out there, don't worry, we didn't forget about you. We made sure to leave a space for you to put your camo without covering up any important HUD elements. A lot of people hate this. I personally really like it. I think it's sort of minimalist. Yeah, for a killer, it's sort of like, oh, I have to look down here to see my hatches, then I have to look up there to see, like, what the survivors are doing, and then you have your hook state thing, and then you have your gens at the top. But playing this on a regular size monitor, a 1920 by 1080 monitor, I can see that looking dead center, where you should be looking, you have sort of the easy look access to everything. Of course, you probably don't want to make this HUD smaller. As much as HUD scale would be very nice, and as much as I'm gonna make my HUD as small as possible, you probably don't want to do that as killer, because you sort of need all that information as much as you can. That's really all I've got for the killer HUD. For the survivor HUD, I like how minimalist the item is. That add-on looks a bit too big, though. Is it gonna lay out the add-ons, like, left, right? I'm very curious about that now. Yeah, that's really all I've got for that. Then, we have the Survivor Locomotion Animation Update. Keeping with the theme of updating what's old, we have revisited Survivor animations. As the game moves towards a more realistic direction, we felt it was only fitting to switch to more realistic and fluid animations. We have made a conscious effort to not change movement itself. Your inputs, as well as your character's speed, turn rates, and acceleration, have not changed. While the actual movements for the survivors has not changed, new animations can make it feel different to control. We'll be keeping a close eye out for feedback to make sure we find a compromise. We'll be keeping a close eye out for feedback to make sure we find a compromise between making things look better while also keeping the feeling right. This is an interesting change. I do like what they've done here. They have, made just crouching, normal walking, and everything else really cool. You can crouch while using flashlights now, or you can use a flashlight while crouching now, which is fucking awesome. I will be running Urban Invasion in trying to get crouching flashlight saves. Thanks, Behavior, for ruining every game I play with friends now. You got a new animation for getting picked up from the dying state by another survivor. That's really cool. I think that this is a good update, generally. Yeah, it's killing the old DVD, but this game has to evolve to keep people interested. I was excited for new generators, and I still love them. That's sort of my thoughts on it, is you update the old to keep it up to date, and then you keep the old that is good, sort of the gameplay loop. Vault window, drop pallet, stun killer, all that. You keep that old gameplay loop, but you update everything else like visuals. Those are my thoughts on it. Matchmaking rating and rank rewards. Starting with some good news, matchmaking ratings are returning in the near future. We have been hard at work tweaking the system since our tests last year, and we are preparing to re-enable skill-based matchmaking for another test soon. And then they have a link for more information on matchmaking ratings. But that's not all. Once we are happy with matchmaking ratings and turn the system on for good, we'll be reintroducing rank rewards. Since ranks will no longer be used for matchmaking, they will instead be repurposed to reward dedicated players. Each month, everyone will be given blood points based on the highest rank they've reached and then be reset to 20, and then an image of the rewards. This is a good start, but I feel like they need to increase the rewards by rank, not just for rank 1, because just rewarding beige ranks with 10k is not too good. It should be 2019, 18, 17 that get different blood points as well. But I do like where they have gone with this. It is a genuinely good start. And then it says you'll earn rewards for both Killer and Survivor separately. For example, if you reach rank 1 on both roles, you'll receive a total of 500,000 blood points. That is really good. I'll give them that. That's really good. And then the graphics update, there's really not much to talk about here. You have Crotus Pren getting updated. This is the entrance. This is that dome room that everyone hates because it has the really good window. Then you have Game, which, your normal stairwell, and then, some more concept art, which this one's very funny because it has this room, which is completely untextured, and then this room, which is mostly untextured. It's just kind of funny. And then for miscellaneous stuff, Wraith will be getting true invisibility. To put it into simple terms, 24 meters and beyond, you can't see him at all. You can somewhat see him between 24 and 16 meters, and it's practically unchanged it's practically unchanged from 16 meters and closer. It's a very nice change to Wraith, because Wraith definitely deserves it. He doesn't deserve to be the punching bag of DVD anymore. He really needed help like this, and now survivors have to keep an eye out. Would I wish for them to make him louder but true invisibility all the time? Yeah, sure. I love true invisibility. As long as there's another way to detect him, sure. But I don't think they're gonna go for that. And, you know, I'll settle with this. Trapper now has a new escape mechanic. I'm assuming that this is like 1 to 3 attempts is like 10, 15, 20, 4 is 25, then 5 is 50, then 6 is 100%. Because they have stated in the dev tapes that it is always going to take 1 to 6 attempts. It'll either take bare minimum or maximum. They have stated that there will be no way to make this higher without add-ons. As it says here, add-ons which reduce the chance to escape will be getting updated to increase the possible number of attempts accordingly. So, yay. That's really all I got. Deep Wound is now 20 seconds no matter what applied it, whether it be Legion, Borrowed, any Endurance, really. It's pretty good. Pebble is getting a buff. Basically, what they've said here is Diversion has found its way into the hearts of many people in spite of not being particularly powerful. We believe that the world should have more Pebbles. With that in mind, we are reducing the time taken to activate Diversion and simplifying its perk tiers to make it more usable at lower levels. Good change. Fixated now just works while you're injured. You can walk 20% faster while injured. Simple buff. Didn't really need it. It held its niche, but I'm glad they did it because it's good. This Undying change is massive. It is really big. They have changed 3 things about Undying. First, when a Hex Totem other than Undying is cleansed, Undying is immediately shut off, and the Hex Totem that was cleansed originally now takes up Undying's spot. I'm assuming the way this will work is Hex Totem gets cleansed, Undying shuts off, cleansed Hex Totem goes on to where Undying was. This is a really good change, because it makes it so you can't pop Ruin 3 times, get Undying, and pop Ruin the last time. It's such a good change. This meta was so boring, and I'm so glad they're fixing it. But this second change is terrifying. Basically, tokens you have on Hex perks now transfer. So, 2 Token Devour will stay 2 Token Devour until it is cleansed a second time. That is terrifying, because 5 Token Devour will stay 5 Token Devour until cleansed the second time. This is a buff to every token Hex perk. You have Devour, Lullaby, Third Seal. You know, I think there's a couple other ones that I'm missing, but those are the 3 big ones that I will keep in mind. Those will be terrifying. And I love that they did that. They nerfed Undying in 2 of the biggest ways possible, the third one being Aura Reading only applies to totems, but they nerfed it in 2 big ways and buffed it in a massive way. And I can't help but love what they did. It'll be fucking obnoxious on Midwich, and it'll be obnoxious on Larry's. It'll make me run Detective's Hunch, and I'm going to scream because I still hate finding Hex Totems. But yeah, that's how that is. Iron Maiden, they doubled the duration of the exposed. It's now 30 seconds. 30 seconds is massive. Like, massive. 30 seconds is, you know, half of Make Your Choice, or half of literally every other perk that applies exposed. It is... Doubling the duration was such a good change and so needed. And that's really all I've got for it. You know, it'll be good on Huntress, it'll be good on Bubba, it'll be good on Doctor. Like, I'm really excited for the Iron Maiden change. Open-handed. They doubled the aura reading distance at every tier. But the thing about it is that you can only have one effective open-handed at once. So if you're in a 4-man Swift, one person runs open-handed, you all run Bond, you see each other from super far away, and it's very helpful. I'm really excited for open-handed. It's one of my favorite stupid perks, because it was worthless before. Now it's at least okay. In Second Wind, they're going to reduce the time it takes for you to heal. Simple as that.
I feel like it's going to be around 24 seconds. And if it's shorter than that, I don't know how to fucking feel about that. If they make it 28, it's going to be sorely disappointing. If they make it 24, I think it's going to be just right. Any shorter, and you're really playing with fire.
But that's all I've got. I think this is a good developer update, and I feel like this mid-chapter is going to be awesome. Clan rework, cool. You know, HUD update, awesome. I really genuinely love all this.